6 weeks without seeing the sun. Anyways, I'm sitting out on this grassy knoll in the middle of the Wayne campus, and there's a really good-looking girl sitting in front of me. I remember she had blonde hair and she had ponytails. She had fried boots on and long, blue jeans that were kind of worn down at the cuffs. And I kind of sat right behind her so I could keep my eye on her. And as I was trying to study, which I couldn't do because it was such a nice day, there was some kind of rabble rousing going on right in front of us. And there's some guy that was trying to get some kind of protests going on about the fact that Nixon was bombing Cambodia. And he's talking about everything and that. I just started watching it, and I was kind of looking at her and trying to see. I really couldn't see the face, So I said something about, so what's going on over there, She goes, she turns around to me. She goes, Nixon's bombing Cambodia, and I think that's bullshit, And I said, oh yeah, but she was good looking. She was really good looking, and just talking about, she thought it was kind of bummed that he was doing that, and I had a little bit of experience from high school with getting involved with jumping on a soapbox and starting some, demonstrations about dress codes and stuff like that, and whether or not we could smoke on the campus and that. So I kind of had a little bit of experience with it. So, these guys were trying to figure out what they were going to do, and I stood up and I said, hey, why don't we go out and march down to Woodward and close down Woodward? I mean, that's going to get a little bit of attention. And she kind of looks over at me and says, hey, that's a hell of an idea. She was a little bit younger than I was, so I realized that she hadn't been involved with any of these protests going on and that, because it was everything was kind of on the swan songs of demonstrations and that. So, I'm standing up and I'm thinking about it. She grabs my hand, she goes, let's do it, So she grabs my hand and she starts leading me down the concourse towards Woodward Avenue, and she starts saying, come on, come on, come on. So we get this little bit of a crowd following us. And here we are. We're marching through the Wayne campus, headed down towards Woodward Avenue. And it was almost like a carnival atmosphere. I mean, she's trying to come up with slogans about, stop the bombing and we got to stop Nixon, like his mom should have stopped his dad, and all this kind of crap. And trying to come up with words that rhymed with bombs and that. But she was really getting into it. And we're walking down the street, and unfortunately, I was at the very front of this. And we're going down, and we're going down along the road, and it was like a carnival. And we're drawing more and more people into it. And before I knew it, we probably had 75, 80 people behind us. We get down right along the WDET offices, from what I remember. They happened to be upstairs in this building that was right alongside Woodward, from what I remembered. And I'm in the front, and I turn the corner, and I turn around and I look, and I see a whole line of riot-geared cops. There had to have been, they came from everywhere. Wayne County, Detroit, these guys had masks on, they had sticks, they had mice in their hands, they had plastic shields. I had no idea where they came from. I was the one that came up with the idea of going down Woodward. I had no idea why they were there. They were literally funneling in behind the building. So I'm in the head of the line, and I'm turning around, and I looked at her, and I said, hey, this is going to be okay. This is going to be fine. As long as we don't do anything, they won't do anything to us. Well, I was wrong. I said, okay, what we got to do is we got to stretch all the way across Woodward. Now, I don't know if you know Woodward. What is Woodward, a block away from here? It's 8 lanes. But we had to get all the way across. And I said, okay, everybody, let's get all the way across before we stop and sit down. So we're standing there. We're waiting for the traffic light to turn green so we can cross the road. While we're waiting to go across, I keep on seeing more and more cops come. I have no idea where they're coming from. So anyways, we go across. She's grabbing my arm. She's looking around. I said, you know what? Maybe this isn't such a good idea. I said, why don't you get off the road? Run over to the curb. So by the time we finally get all the way across the road, I'm right at the curb. I turned around, I looked at her just to make sure that she was out of the way. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw a cop looking at her just before he turned around and hit me with his nightstick. First, he hit me across the knee. When I went down to grab my knee, he hit me across the wrist. Then, when I went down even a little further, he hit me across the elbow, and before I even got a chance to protect my head, thank God I had long hair, it was tied in a ponytail, he hit me in the back of the head that if I didn't have that long hair, honest to God, I think he would have knocked me out. You know, it happened so fast. And the next thing, and you know, I understand what was going on. They were trying to all push us all to one direction, and I decided to kind of hold my ground right in that one spot. But, you know, just the fact that it looked like that he was trying to impress her by hitting me. You know, I couldn't figure out what was going on. Anyways, you know, the long and short of it, you know, I wasn't really trying to change the world. All I was trying to do was just get laid.